Welcome back. What a game, what an afternoon. One win in 7 weeks for Nottingham Forest. Not a bad time to get your first win of 2018 either. And Jermaine, for a boy, or a man I guess now, who was born in this wonderful city and made his debut in this competition, what a remarkable afternoon.
It's been an emotional evening, I think, for these Nottingham Forest fans. Something they've been waiting for, this result in particular, and this game as well they've been waiting for. And in fairness, at that point, it's all about the players delivering. And, you know, that's exactly what they went out and did. For the whole game, I thought they really delivered and got the result they deserved.
Absolutely. It's about the players delivering and, of course, the caretaker manager delivering as well. Gary, congratulations. Well done. 22 games you've had in charge of Nottingham Forest now, over a few different spells. Without question, that was the highlight, right?
It's been a good day. It's been a good day, but I have to pay a massive compliment to the players in terms of their application, in terms of their quality at times. And I genuinely felt it was a game that we could win. And as the game went on, I felt it was a game we were going to win. And even when they got back to 3-2, I felt comfortable that we'd go on and win the game, and they thoroughly deserved the win, and they deserve all the praise they get.
Tell us why it was a game you felt you could win, because it was an Arsenal side that was much changed, and Martin before kick-off was worried about that. But as we've said, 633 Premier League appearances among the 11 players that started for Arsenal today.
Well, I felt we could win because I think we've got quality players. And I think when they apply themselves like they did, when they put the amount of effort in that they did, and I thought our application in terms of our work rate and being in the right place at the right time, a lot of the time was correct. We filled holes really well. We made it hard for them to get through us. We conceded a goal first up. I don't think Jordan had to make a save, and that gave us a lot of belief. I said to them at half-time, don't sit back and try and stay in the lead. Go and take the game to them more, and you can get more goals. And I think we did that, in fairness to them. We didn't sit back and try and hang on, which I've seen happen before, but we went and we got ourselves further in front. And as the game went on, we thoroughly deserved what we got. And I said, I'm really pleased for the players. And it's got to be something we build on. This football club should be playing against the Arsenals of this world, and they should be beating the Arsenals. And this crowd deserves to be playing in front of Premier League teams, and that's what we've got to drive towards.
Gary, I noticed when that goal went in to make it 3-2, you kind of signalled calm, just relax, stay calm. Is that the message you was trying to portray at half-time to the side? You know, because you must have a lot of trust in them, having known them for so long.
Yeah, I think looking at it sensibly, the first half, there was nothing to be really scared of. We tried to push them down the outside, so we wouldn't let them through the middle of us, and we could handle stuff wide. Both our fullbacks, Eric and Armand, I thought were excellent in one-on-one situations, and we could handle crosses into the box. You know, we've got Joe and we've got Mance that can deal with those crosses, so keep them around the outsides, and we were okay. So I sort of said to them, you know, don't panic, be comfortable with what you've got, but go and get yourselves another goal, because we were more than capable of that. So yes, at 3-2, but I never felt as though it was waves and they were coming at us again and again and again. And we're also, with Ben Brereton playing like that, we've always got the threat on the transition. I thought, you know, he showed what he's capable of tonight. What
a player. Released by Man United, released by Stoke as well. We've got a documentary on later tonight on BT about young players and when the dream dies, when they're going through the academy setup. He's not someone that's been knocked then by what's happened to him in the past.
No, we're very lucky that we had a gentleman called Alan Travis that stepped in and secured him from Stoke for us and got him into us. Massively important that we the first ones to get him in through the gate. Once we got him in through the gate, we weren't letting him back out until he'd signed. Yeah. And we've worked really hard with him, and some people that don't get a mention in things like this have worked incredibly hard to get Ben to where he is now. Ben's job now is to go and do that week in, week out and grow as a footballer. And he did real. I'd have to say as well, Jake, I think our senior players were fantastic today. Yeah. So we talk about our young players in this team, but I thought Mance was brilliant. I thought Armand was excellent. David Vaughan was superb in midfield. The senior players played with common sense, and they used their brains as the game went on, and we managed the game well as it went on. So senior players carried those younger ones, but they were very good for us today.
Going back to Barrington's performance, I thought he was outstanding. Did you try to isolate Mertesacker and hold him? Because they didn't have enough for him. He was running into the channels. He was buying free kicks when he needed to, and he was a real danger all evening. It was quite remarkable. He's only 18 years of age. This fella could go on. I'm sure could be a problem holding on to him, and some of the others, because they played that well tonight.
Well, he'll stay because this is a club that gives youngsters opportunity. So this is the best place for Ben Brereton. You can see him going through here. He can really hurt people, but. You know, there's a lot more to come from Ben. There's a lot more to come. But what we wanted to do and what he wasn't doing early in the game, he kept coming to feet, Martin.
Yes.
And I was ready to wring his neck at one point in the first half, where I was, you know, he starts coming to feet, then he's got to go and stretch the game for us. And when he does that, that's Ben Brereton at his best. But in fairness, you know, he scored one. he probably should be going home with at least 2 goals today. Keeper's made a couple of good saves, but he's a bit more clinical in front of goal. He'll create himself chances.
Yeah. What was the situation with the penalty? Is he the man to take the penalties as well, or was he just in a good moment and decided to step up and take one?
Well, he's always took penalties in the teams he's played for inside Forest, so he obviously fancied it, put it away well. And then Kieran wanted to take the second one. I've no problems with changing the penalty taker on the second one. I'm not mad about a penalty taking 2. Yeah. So Kieran put his away. We're happy.
Yeah. How are the nerves watching on?
Yeah, fine. I mean, I'm
very chilled out.
Very relaxed.
But they're good players, Jake.
Yeah.
They're good players. They know what they're doing. They filled the gaps properly. They played to the plan, and it was very hard to get through us. And I've got a lot of faith in these players. They're good players, and I've said to them in the change room afterwards, well done, but you've got to take this forward for the rest of the season.
Let's just talk about going forward then, because there will be people that will tune into this and see Nottingham Forest 14th in the Championship, another change of manager, but you've got new owners here. We've seen today the young talent, we've seen today the older pros who are helping to carry this team along. Where are Nottingham Forest now compared to the last 4 or 5 years, do you feel?
Well, I know 12 months on, they're in a lot better place than they were this time last year.
Yeah.
So the squad is fit. And the staff have got them into a really, really good place. Technically, they're a lot better. And there's an ability to play a certain type of football that will get you really good results in the Championship. So the ideal is that whoever comes in has got a really good squad, they're fit. It's not the worst project to take on from here.
And you love Forest, you love bringing through young players, you love football. Why don't you want the job?
I've been asked to do the job on a game-to-game basis, and I've happily done that. I enjoy doing it. I'm comfortable with it. That's not a question that I would be able to answer. You're asking the wrong people about that.
So, do you fancy the job?
No, I think I'm doing it as I am, which is game to game.
Okay.
And if I'm asked to do it against Villa, we'll prepare properly as we have done today, as we did against Leeds the week before, and we'll prepare and make sure that we're very, very competitive against Villa. If somebody comes in, they've got a lovely project to work for.
For sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can definitely say that. People watching at home now, and it's the promise of those young players, isn't it? Which is so exciting for the club going forward. And that's the first step today, to sort of rekindle the past. The great Sir Brian Clough will be sitting up there watching, and he'll be thinking, wow, what a performance. That reflected everything about the club, the youth, the energy, and the quality, because they had good quality today in their performance.
Martin, they have absolutely. And these young players have got to help to take this club forward back into the Premier League.
Stick together.
Proud day. Well done. Congratulations. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Right, plenty more analysis to come, of course, because there was controversy, there were goals, and of course we'll get the Arsenal reaction to this. Arsene Wenger didn't have the benefit of watching this one from down in the technical area. He was up in the stands and he would not have liked what he saw. All the reaction still to come. Welcome back. We'll hear from Arsene Wenger before too long, but for the first time in 25 years, the holders of the FA Cup have gone out to lower league opposition in the 3rd round. And this is the first time since 1908 that a team have put 4 past Arsenal, a team from the lower league, that is. It was a remarkable performance from Nottingham Forest. Arsenal striking back, but Forest with a couple of penalties taking the lead. A goalkeeping error gave us an exciting finish to the match. That had the Arsenal fans on their feet, but the second of the 2 penalties, despite the controversy surrounding it, confirms it for Nottingham Forest, and it is the victory for them. Let's go back there and look at what was quite a stunning second half. Let's first of all go to the 3-1, the penalty that was awarded just over there. No question about the penalty award?
I don't think so, no. I think it was Rob Holding just lapsing concentration, I would say. The ball gets away from him, and I think as soon as he makes contact there, he knows. He puts his hands up. It's one of those situations where as he turns and wants to make contact on the ball, he doesn't know where Cash is coming from. And Cash gets a touch on the ball, and obviously Brereton, with the confidence that he had as a young lad today and the brilliant performance that he put in, steps up and sticks it away.
What does it tell you about a player at 18 years of age in a game of this magnitude to step up and do that, Martin?
Well, listen, what he's done to Holding and Per Mertesacker, he may be actually retired Mertesacker today, because it's told me that Mertesacker can't play in a 4. They've been used to playing in a 3, and they were exposed. He held on to the ball well, he ran into the channels. We just talked to the manager there about him coming too deep at times. He got bought free kicks when he needed to. In the build-up for the penalty, the first one, he draws a foul from Holding, and then ultimately they get the penalty. So you need that focal point, and they'll be trying to build a future around him, because he's 18 years of age. The big clubs will be watching. Everyone's watching this today. It's a huge opportunity for them to showcase what they can do. Let's hope they stay at Forest and that's the first step for him now. An under-20 winner in the summer. He's building his career. Played more games for England, by the way, than he's actually played for Forest. He's a baby. He's just starting out, and it's a really good start from him.
And you think that perhaps that is it for Per Mertesacker under Arsene Wenger?
Well,
we know he's got a coaching role lined up for next season.
Well, let's not forget, he came into the cup final last summer. He played 2 games all season. One of them was the final. He was magnificent, but he was in a 3. He was marshalling 2 central defenders either side of him. He can't play on his own there now. He was far too deep at times. Even the first goal that they concede, you'd expect more from him, just from a point of view of actually, you know, he's behind me, by the way, over there. But if I was able to speak to him, I'd say, you've got to boss that. You've got to police that. You know, OK, the wall isn't in the right place, but let's get level with the wall. Take your line off the wall. And it was disappointing that in the end, there wasn't enough experienced players on that pitch. If you look at Welbeck's a player that's coming back from injury. Theo Wilcock, a lot of his appearances have been off the bench. They've had sort of cameo performances. There wasn't a real player in there that you'd say, OK, he's going to get Arsenal out of trouble when they needed to.
You don't expect Per Mertesacker to have all this pace and be tracking runners into challenge. You don't. But he wasn't protected enough. With enough pace, energy, experience, players in the right positions to look after him today. He's got quality on the ball, he can read the game, but yes, when you isolate him, it's going to be a problem, and he found that out tonight.
Yeah, he knows this. Listen, it comes to everyone, doesn't it?
What's it like towards the end of your career when you still want to play and you still think you can play?
You're the last person that thinks that time's up.
Is that right?
And I think, listen, he's going into a major role at the football club. He's got star quality. He's going to be the head of the director for the academy. Arsene Wenger is an emergency. He put him in as an emergency situation today. He gambled. Arsene Wenger gambled everything on this game. Obviously, the League Cup now is something where he's going to have to play the full 11. We've been watching this season, we've been watching the Europa League. None of the first string players have played the number of games they'd normally play at this stage of the season. That's why I was so surprised the likes of Sanchez and Ozil weren't even on the bench, so they could bring those guys on to turn the game around.
It was still an average age older than the Forest average age in the starting 11s. It was still an Arsenal side with more than 600 Premier League appearances.
You know what, Jake? And I think
it should have been enough.
Well, I think also that's where a lot of the focus should be aimed. You know, granted, Per Mertesacker in isolation had some tough moments and Berriton was brilliant, but what happened to your 2 midfield players? What was happening at the top end of the pitch? You know, I thought all over the park Arsenal were out-fought, out-battled and out-skilled, and so, you know, it feels a little bit unfair to put it all on Per Mertesacker, but I do get it.
OK, let's have a look back at some more of that drama from the second half then. And 3-2, a goalkeeper who's highly thought of, another young man who's come through the ranks here. It was a very unfortunate moment, wasn't it?
Well, for me, it's a fumble. You know, he gets there, he does everything right, and then he lets it bounce out of his hands. He's going to learn from it. He's another young player. There's so many of them coming through the academy. I thought he was actually excellent at times coming off his line, but he won't be happy with that when he sees it back.
Have a look at Mancian's reaction here. Look, he doesn't even know.
Scandalous.
He doesn't even know, and then all of a sudden he's like, what's going on? The ball's in the back of the net, but...
Expect the unexpected.
Well,
that's what good defenders should do.
But again, you go 3-2 down, a few minutes left against Arsenal. Teams can capitulate in that situation. Before too long, the ball's back up at the other end, and Forest have got another goal. So let's go through this because it is controversial. First of all, penalty or not?
I think it is a penalty, purely and simply, and I can understand, you know, why people might disagree. But I think Debunchy hits Armand Traoré before he gets the ball. When you're tackling from behind, it's difficult. Just there, he makes contact on Traoré first, and then he makes contact on the ball. I don't know what you think, Martin.
Well, I think he actually makes the ball. This is the moment, though, when everyone's saying, was it actually 2 touches of the ball? Now, if you look at the trajectory of the ball, it has to have been 2 touches. Now, if the referee doesn't know, and he can't see that, and he can't be sure, he can't give it. But the ball doesn't elevate like that unless that comes off the standing foot.
Right.
And that's why it's lifted, in my opinion.
He could have hit it into the ground. That was a possibility.
He could have hit it into the ground, but it's unlikely. Only the player will know. I mean, it'd be interesting to ask Dowell, what did it touch your standing foot? He will know that.
So let's imagine this is tomorrow night and we have VAR and there is a referee able to watch this again. Let's go back again onto the challenge because it's still inconclusive and we've seen it from 2 or 3 different angles. None of us are able to say conclusively
the penalty.
This is a penalty or not. No.
No, I think it's definitely a penalty personally because I think he's made contact on Armand Traoré's right leg initially and then made contact with the ball. So the foul has been made before the contact on the ball.
It looks as if he just makes a clean tackle of the ball when their player is actually going over, waiting for the tackle. Now, where the referee is, I think he's looking at it, the referee, he's got to be guessing a little bit here. He's a long way from the action, and percentages tell him that if he wins that ball, he's going to follow through and make a foul as well, and he's giving it on that basis, perhaps.
And you're still saying double touch on the penalty, and you're again saying no?
No. From playing the game of football, Jay, me and Martin will both tell you he's touched the ball twice, but that's not the referee's decision. He's ran to his linesman and said, has he touched the ball twice?
Because
and if it's not conclusive, he can't say yes.
Exactly it, and it's because the way the ball lifts.
Yes.
It lifts in an unnatural way, and otherwise it wouldn't have gone up like that. If you see the way the ball just suddenly just shoots up, it kind of like squeezes off, it squirms off his standing foot.
Yeah.
And it takes the ball up. Listen, we're not really sure. So if they were now sitting trying to VAR trying to work out how this has happened, they're not going to know. And if they don't know, they have to give the
because
goal.
I've seen kind of bigger contacts when it comes to a two-touch type penalty like that. I've
And
seen it be
over.
far clearer.
Yeah.
But that was not clear at all.
And of course, VAR only investigates clear and obvious errors by a referee. Were they clear and obvious?
Good
Who
luck with
knows?
that one.
Yeah. So much about VAR clearing up all the problems.